Collective. Welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist. We're going to check into what's going on with this love, what's going on with the collective, see if we can tap back in. I have been out of it. I just uploaded the 2 videos I did while I was away, we'll call it. I was in the 4 of Swords energy, which is Virgo and Aquarius. So that is a very contemplative energy. Not a withholding so much as being unavailable because you're incapable of being available, but just making yourself unavailable because maybe you've been too available to people, places, things, ideas, maybe you've just been too available. That reminds me of Sex and the City, where she self-sabotages. She sabotages a connection, and then she later sabotages it again, and then again, and again, and again. But in Sex and the City, Carrie and Aiden, Sagittarius, I believe, and Taurus are their signs. But there could be a big height difference between you and your person. Or, what's going on there? My chapstick melted. Got pretty warm finally. And I keep touching this bag here, which is really crazy. I got some stuff for salad wraps and getting back on track with my life, because I've been in a very restful place of just knowing that I can't put pressure on myself, right? If you've been too available, we're just too available. And what does he do in that scene? In that episode, he withdraws his energy. There's somebody was playing with your time or disrespecting your time or not honoring your energy, and it feels very time sensitive. It's like you could have been engaging in something that was not, you knew that it was not your connection, but you were giving energy to it. You knew that it wasn't your calling or the work that you wanted to do. You knew that. But it's like you weren't honoring that. And so you had to go incognito for a bit. You had to go into that hermit mode of self-evaluation. And that's where we ask why, what, where, the why kids of the zodiac or is Virgo energy, right? So you could have strong Virgo placements. But let's just go ahead and see. I feel like somebody was being misused and confused. I'm getting used, abused, misconstrued. Yeah, it's like no matter how many times you maybe said something to somebody, how many times you set a boundary with somebody, how many times you explained like I'm not feeling well or I need time for myself. It's like this person or these people, this environment that you were putting yourself in, that you were giving your energy to, did not understand that, did not respect it, did not honor it, didn't give a flying hoot, basically. So more Sagittarius energy there with the hoot. You could be a Celtic owl. Your zodiac could be Celtic. Your Celtic zodiac could be an owl. Or maybe look into your Celtic zodiac and that animal could be a sign or a synchronicity or confirmation for you. I am an owl. So owls could also be a sign for you. Your name could rhyme with owl or rhyme with a bird or be a bird's name, right? Hawk, or that's a cool ass name. Yeah. Hawk. What is that? Lost Boys. What's his name? The little boy. Addie or something. The little boy vampire. Spoiler alert. I don't know why I'm getting that. I'm getting a little child actor in one of those kind of movies of that era, like Lost Boys, where the boy's name is Hawk, maybe Wolf. It's some kind of animal name. Well, it's gone now. Well, it was never here. So 'Twas never here, so it can't be gone. All right, we got Cancer, Gemini, Virgo, and Taurus energy here with the Magician and the Chariot. The Emperor, Aries. They are the hawk, falcon in the Native American zodiac. Eagle Eye, Seven of Cups. Somebody is really watching. And I get so sick of hearing that. Your person is thinking about you. Your person is watching you. We don't give a shit what they're thinking or what they're watching or what they're collecting, what information. Action. That's the Emperor. That's Aries energy. Although the Emperor, as the Emperor does, they're so elevated and spiritually developed, and they're very confident. There's a lot of confidence that can be misconstrued into arrogance. Yeah, somebody might have thought you were kind of on your high horse, masculines, that you thought you were better than them or something, and you could just be trying to improve yourself or like get back into doing things for yourself. And anybody who has a fucking problem with you taking time for yourself is not a friend. That's not a loyal person that you want in your circle anyway. So you could be eliminating connections. We have the Two of Cups and the Four of Wands. So that's the 11-11. That's like the lovers. That's that coming together. And then when I just put that deck back on, the World flopped out in the Van Gogh deck. So there's something about there's like an illumination of the world around this full moon. I was going to do a full moon reading for y'all. We're still, in the full moon energy, so we'll kind of do this, but I wanted to do like what you can expect coming in the full moon, but I just didn't have it. I didn't have the energy for it. And I was really going through my own cycle that needed to be broken, and I needed to do some work, some heavy work yesterday. So I did a vocal fast. It was Sunday, so it just so happened that the full moon, fell on a Sunday, which is when I do my vocal fasting and I shut the hell up and I just pay attention to things around me. All right, I have not pulled from any of these, and I feel like, why? We got 6 here at the top with Jasmine. Somebody's name could be a flower. I get that a lot. I was watching Spanglish, so there could be again, I get that a lot as well. There's a big cultural difference. Because the Twinflame collective that I'm reading for now, at this point, it's like the more that I read for them, this collective that resonates with not being in union with their person, maybe being in separation or not having met them or not knowing if they've met them because they did not come in the action that it takes to bring a union together. And that's on the masculine side. The masculine acts, and that brings the the feminine calls it in the 5D, the masculine activates it in the 3D. And for those that have not come into their union yet, for whatever reason, but that you're on a twin flame journey, that your purpose is greater and greater. It's not saying that it's greater than those who have already come into union. You just know that it's that much more important, that it's taking this much longer to stew, like a good chili or, a good stew, or I'm a big fan of boiled peanuts. Anybody know boiled peanuts out there? You could be dealing with a Taurus or a Cancer. We do like food. We got the Knight of Cups and the Four of Wands again. There's too much underneath the Knight of Cups, but damn, this Knight of Cups. Yeah, it's like when this Knight of Cups comes in, the action behind the cup, this masculine's bringing a lot of energy in with them. And I just put it back in the deck, so maybe that is to say they're releasing a lot of energy before they come in. Like there could be connections, the moon, yeah, the confusion, that was the other word I was getting earlier. Misused, abused, and confused. Somebody was left confused. You were dealing with somebody who didn't act. Maybe they were just all talk. Maybe they weren't even talk. They were just chemistry at best. Physical chemistry. Like maybe they just looked good, but you know how somebody looks so good when you're attracted to them, when things are in that moment, or that phase with the moon here, that phase of like the honeymoon phase, right? If you want to call it. I don't believe in that phase. Not in the divine union. There is no honeymoon phase. You're in it. You're in it to win it. Somebody could be competitive here, but it feels like not a toxic competition or competitive spirit here. It's like somebody is willing to, with the Knight of Cups, fight for the love. They're willing to win. They will win your heart, feminines. Because we have the Four of Wands. This is what they're coming in with. And it's like they had to release a bunch of shit because they didn't want to bring that into it, because this love is going to be too precious, too important. It's too great. This love is so great that you don't want anything below or that is not aligned. I don't like to use terms like comparative terms like below or above or better or worse. The Devil and the Star. Yeah, there was something there. There's the Chariot. There was something that was creating a disharmony, something out of alignment with this masculine's heart space. So they knew if they brought a cup in, they would not be honoring this connection. This masculine is an emperor. So they know what it's going to take. And they are intelligent enough, and they're a master, right? The Magician is somebody, the feminine and the masculine, emperor and empress, are magicians by their very right, by their very nature, because they've done the work. And once you've done the work and become an elementalist, you are the elementalist is life path 4. But the number 4 with the Four of Wands here, you could be a life path 4. Something with April, something about 4s could be really important to you. You could be seeing a lot of sequences of 4. Somebody might like to golf here. 4. But it is like a long shot. Somebody's taking a long shot here. For an emperor to be in this energy, it's strange, because an emperor is somebody who's very confident. They're almost borderline arrogant because they are a master of their craft. And they're a master of the ego, right? The feminine is the master of the intuition. And so the masculine, being an emperor and being a master of the ego, it borders on arrogance. But it just looks like that to people who don't have that confidence, people who are jealous of that, people who are here to just take from people who do the work. They're riding the coattails of other people who have done the work, but they're not willing to do the work themselves. That devil energy is like, if they came in with all this sediment, right? If they don't exhale fully, and then they try to inhale you, because I really feel like you're going to be inhaling each other, like breathing in each other. This is like a moth to a flame, a lot of fire energy, and air energy, which is masculine energy. But moths sense each other from miles away by pheromones. Many animals do, but moths are pretty impeccable. I'm getting impeccable, impenetrable. Temperance, Sagittarius energy. This is somebody is kind of like, their ego is in check as well. So I feel like that's somebody on the outside of the masculines. On the masculine side, that's somebody outside of them. Someone that was trying to influence it. Four of Wands again with the Knight of Pentacles. So it's funny because we have it's strange because we have a lot of masculine energy that's like the moth to the flame, bringing this connection together. And then the action is very feminine. They're coming in with the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. Earth and water are feminine. So it's, Queen of Pentacles. Well, it's because they know how to approach this feminine. They know if they come in with any bullshit, could be a Taurus involved here, feminine side. Strong Taurus placements, at least, with that Hierophant. Somebody could really, the full Aries and Aquarius, and the Magician in reverse. Yeah, if they try to come in with even the slightest move out of sequence, if they have not released everything they've needed to release, if they haven't done all the chakra work, if they haven't done all the shadow work that they can do alone, if they haven't eliminated, so that's Capricorn, Saturn, root chakra, the color red, right? To get everything out, to release everything, right? When I would do breathwork classes, when you think you're done exhaling, exhale again. Keep exhaling until you are truly done, because most of us only breathe right in here, very shallow. The world is very shallow. And when you start to do shadow work, you go deep. And you find that there's like sediment. I'm getting like a water tank or something with like your water heater or water filters possibly. So activating the pineal gland because it could be calcified, so that's your third eye. So if you're having trouble seeing this, you could be struggling with that, with the moon here and that lack of clarity. I think the full moon, there was some sort of breakthrough or realization that happened. It was like a breath of fresh air, and you are a breath of fresh air. This feminine is a breath of fresh air to this masculine. So with the 6 here, it's like they know that they have to come in right, and they may have come in, because with Jasmine here and Abu, it's like they may have come in with that arrogance or that grandiose gesture, thinking that that was what was going to win this feminine over. But no, she fell in love with a street rat. She fell in love with the true character of Abu. Maybe somebody's name is Abu or something with monkeys. Maybe you're the year of the monkey or something. Abu. And these look like they're little, this is Abu's little pillow, I think. But they look like flowers to me. Anyway, they look like flowers to me, and that I just got some blue butterfly pea flower, pea like PEA. But that's very good for relaxation, and it's also, I don't know if it's a vasodilator. I think it is because it relaxes, but it also influences sexual energy, right? So there's somebody that had to release some sort of sexual energy with the root chakra work of elimination, right? Because that's how we eliminate in the physical body. And then next up, somebody could be like going on, like next up with that 7 of Cups, this feminine could have a lot of suitors or potential people that want to be suitors. I don't think they have a lot of suitors, but they have a lot of options, if you will, but they're not really interested in any of those. They want their divine masculine. And this masculine there's some sort of like hold up in the sexual energy, and maybe that's what they're kind of, I'm getting edging. I was gonna say ebbing, like ebb and flow. They're trying to like ebb that energy back so that that's not at the forefront of their offer or of their approach with this feminine. Because the Magician in the reverse, yeah, if they come in with any sort of, they see this feminine as being their divine counterpart. This masculine sees them as a fellow magician. We could alchemize a lot together. We could create a lot together. This is how the masculine is viewing this feminine. A lot of moon energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio as well, but we don't have that out in any major arcana yet. So you could have those placed with Jesus. Jesus. Yeah, somebody could be startled here. Like, oh my gosh. Or I just dropped a lot of cards. I'm getting like somebody dropping their books or something about like a backpack, like dropping it, and then the other person comes over and helps you pick it up. That might be a very specific message to somebody. But it is like, if you trip and fall, I will catch you. If I'm not there to catch you, I'll help you lick your wounds. I'm getting a lot of loyalty, like deep loyalty, recognizing that one of you is like the alpha, the other's the omega. It's like there is no competition here. You understand the hierarchy, and it's not that one of you is over the other. You understand that one of you is more proficient at this than the other. You know your skill set. You're not someone who thinks that you know everything. You and this person are going to be able to be like, I'm getting like somebody's eyesight is not as good as the other, so they're like, can you read this for me? What does this say? And it's not like, oh, my eyes aren't good, or your eyes are better, or you're fitter than I am. It's like, what are you doing to be that fit? Somebody could be, I feel this like almost an eagerness or an earnestness. There's an earnestness in this masculine, which I think is maybe making them a little bit frazzled, because they're normally very confident, borderline arrogant, to other people at least. The Wheel of Fortune. All right, let's see one more for the feminine. But there's a lot of earth energy with the Queen of Pentacles, and yeah, Year of the Dragon possibly. But we have the Ace of Pentacles here on the feminine side, Temperance on the other. Like, this is going to be such a great union and love and purpose, and the work you do. It's all great. It's all great. Now that reminds me of Because I Said So. So there could be a controlling mother figure here. And maybe the masculine could have like a controlling mother figure, and they are like setting boundaries there, because if they do not want that mother figure to be a factor or an influence on this connection, so it's like they have to handle that, and they don't want to handle it when they're in the connection. It's like this feminine has empowered the masculine to re-empower themselves, or to elevate to another level they didn't even know they had in them. They didn't even know that they could be this amazing of a magician. So there's like a little second guessing with the masculine, but it's not something that's making them shy away from this connection. They're like, oh, this feminine challenged me. This feminine's doing something. Like, they seem to have XYZ figured out. I don't think that they are naive enough to assume that the feminine has everything figured out. I think that they can recognize that the feminine needs assistance in this area or this area, and that's what they want to come in and help with, because they know their skill set, and they know that they would be able to really help the feminine in that area. That's specific. I like this though, because I mean, as an earth sign, I really like that collaborative commitment, the loyalty, because I'm getting like the dogs, wolves, which wolves are Pisces, Native American zodiac. And somebody was just, this morning over coffee, somebody was talking about indigenous peoples. Sacagawea was a name I overheard. They weren't talking to me about it. I just happened to be there and eavesdropping. I mean, they were someone who was kind of like, yeah, they were expressing this thing or saying, I get that this masculine might be quite grandiose in their approach, to try and get this feminine's attention, maybe? I don't know, but it doesn't seem like it's really working. This feminine, because with the Magician in reverse, I feel like this feminine might think that this masculine is kind of like full of themselves. They might think like they might see them as being arrogant. It's like Pride and Prejudice. So Because I Said So is with Diane Keaton, Mandy Moore, and a couple other people. Piper Perabo, is that her name? Piper Perabo from Coyote Ugly. So the animal coyote. I'm getting a lot of dogs, pacts, making a pact, but it's a soul pact with your person. Nine of Pentacles. And that is like, yeah, it's wish fulfillment with the 9 there. It's also independent energy. So you're going to be able to maintain some sort of independence. You're going to be able to have like a separate togetherness where you just sort of ebb and flow. I get this, like, you understand each other. So it's like this feminine they saw through the facade or whatever. If this masculine comes in with like any sort of grandiose, big, boisterous energy, or they're talking to a room, but they're really talking to the feminine. It's like the feminine knows that they are talking to them and not the room. So they might be like, oh yeah, saying things about themselves to try and gauge whether or not the feminine engages with them. Maybe something about the name Gauge. engage, disengage. Yeah, and I think that down the road, because it will happen, when you argue with this person or when you get into something where it starts getting a little heated, I think you're going to be able to disengage very well and go, you know what? Let's take a break here. Let's take a break and let's really just kind of sit with ourselves. Who was the comedian who talked about she and her partner, she was like, I'm the problem. I've discovered I'm the problem here, because she got with someone who, when she tries to spark up an argument or be all fiery or whatever, they were her husband, I guess, or boyfriend, I don't know what their status was, but her partner, he would just kind of look at her, you know, like not engage. He wouldn't feed into it. He wasn't like, oh, we're gonna fight, you know. And so they devised this thing of going to their separate corners and listening to, maybe they have a couple songs that make them feel a lot of love for each other. So it's like their song for each other. They have a couple and they'll go and listen to those songs and then come back to the issue or whatever. And she's like, now I want to fight now, you know, like we're gonna do this shit now. You know, she's very, I don't know what her sign is, but she gives off a lot of fire. So somebody could be like a black queen here, you know, because she is, and she's pretty fantastic, and I can't think of her name. But she, you know, it's funny, like that sounds like a great theory, but I think you two are actually going to be like, you don't want to hurt each other. You don't want to say things that offend the other or cut the other person down, because you don't have that competitive edge with each other. You have a collaborative edge with each other because you finally found a teammate. So maybe where you were competitive with your siblings because you were raised by a narcissistic parent possibly, and you were pitted against each other. It's like there was always competition. There was always measuring of each other's strengths and weaknesses. But instead of saying that because you are not as good, or as, I don't want to say good, you are not as strong in this area as your brother or your sister, that means that you are weak. That means you are stupid. That means you are ugly, because you're not as much as this. Maybe something with a Ouija board. I am getting a Ouija board. Somebody could have played that. You may have just kind of like messed around with it. You may actually use it as practice for part of your divination. Somebody could be a high priestess or a hierophant out there. Well, it's high priestess is really the darker arts aspect, and the magician in the reverse. So that's like the masculine side. This feminine might be thinking this masculine is like fanning the flame. See, this is the dog from Mulan, where he's got the bone in his mouth, but it's like she uses him to do the chores or whatever. Honeydew list and fanning the flames. I don't know why those are coming in together. Fanning the flames and honeydew list. I think you guys, you might be quite traditional, and you might know your place in the connection. You know, it's like you're taller, so you are gonna have to get things off high shelves for me, because I get like a height difference, or there's like a big difference between you two, but it's okay. It's not. It is truly an opposites attract situation here, I feel. So that could be with the cultural differences, race, age, language, because in Spanglish, yeah, it was, and the two movies I just recently watched with Tia Leone is Family Man, which is my favorite Christmas movie, The Family Man with Nicolas Cage, and he gets a glimpse. It's kind of like Scrooged, but different. And it's so good. And then I watched Spanglish, and she's the wife in that. So it's like she was the wife in both of them, and I don't know her sign. But 9 could be a sign for you. And we've got the dragon again there with Mulan. So something of the little dragon here. that gives me ancestors. With the Ace of Pentacles, it's like somebody could be yeah, I am getting that there is like a mother figure here that maybe would disapprove of this connection because they had whatever reason. Okay, they were either like borderline personality, narcissistic, maybe they were undiagnosed, but they were just judgmental, close-minded, simple-minded. But there's something with the Four of Wands here twice, well, 3 times actually, that was stopping. That's marriage. That's the union. That is the vows, making the oaths, starting the connection in a real way, in a legitimate way. There's something about it not being legitimate. Somebody was an illegitimate. Maybe somebody was born out of wedlock. And maybe they don't want you to repeat that cycle. And because I said so, that is kind of the thing there. She's like, I don't want her to end up like me. But she is a lot like her. So there's maternal wound healing here where it's like, you know, there's always that dynamic where the mother wants the daughter to be with like a wealthy doctor or something like that, but then the daughter, of course, always wants to go for the one that they love, that there's the connection with, that's actually the person. It's giving the Notebook, where the mother doesn't want her to repeat her cycle, but she never went through that. You know, she did what she was trying to make her daughter do. You know, because she takes her to the rock quarry or whatever. She's like, that's actually the love of her life, was the guy who worked in a rock quarry. So by her saying, I don't want you to repeat my cycle, she's actually setting her daughter up to repeat her cycle by getting with the guy who looks good on paper, but isn't actually the person that is her joy, is her love, is her heart, is her person. It's not her person. So it's like a weird mind game here. I feel that somebody is, and then also in Sex and the City, where Charlotte, she deals with Trey, who is the doctor, and he's the perfect guy on paper, but he's got all this stuff with his mom. And then when she gets with Harry, her divorce lawyer, he's like, oh, I have to marry a Jewish woman. And she's like, why? Give me a reason. I need something more. I need something, you know. And he's like, well, if I promised my mother. And then she's like, oh God, another mother, you know, like, oh. And he said, just before she died. And she's like, okay, good. We can work with that. So maybe somebody's mother passed away, but there could still be this sort of like embedded concept that like you're gonna disappoint your ancestry or something, or disappoint your lineage, or you're gonna go against your heritage or your culture or something, but it's actually not true to your culture anyway. I'm not sure how that goes, if that means anything to anybody. This isn't, I mean, what is that, Rumspringer? Oh, Temperance and the Seven of Cups are trying to come out again. Five of Pentacles. Who's left out in the cold? Yeah, somebody could have shied away from this connection. Somebody could be shy, but I think somebody may have been like, oh no, I can't do this because I promised my mother or father or grandmother or whatever. Or like if we were getting the like second or third generation, if you're like a second or third generation, you know, your family worked really hard and they went through whatever they went through. Your parents did what they did to get you and your family here so that you could live a better life. And it's like, maybe you or your person sends money back to their family that lives in another country or something. And so, you know, there's something about the 3D world and money being a factor here, but the type of abundance that this love is going to bring in is going to be far greater than any false abundance. Because of the Magician in reverse and this Five of Pentacles, it's false abundance. It's not true abundance to have been with this person that maybe you were giving energy to. So this could be for someone who just left a karmic cycle, someone who just left it. And that's why this connection, this union has been delayed, is because they had to disconnect from that. They had to release their obligation to live for their parents. You're here to live for you. And somebody just realized that. Somebody just kind of put those pieces together. Like, this is actually my life. Somebody was just saying, it's my life. Yeah. Yeah, somebody was just talking about that song by Bon Jovi. It's my life. It's now or never. And I think someone's like, you know what? Yeah, I did say I wouldn't, this is specific as well, but I've heard a number of people who don't have tattoos. They're like, oh yeah, my mom or dad said that they would kill me if I ever did, or oh, I could never do that because they were raised Catholic, or something where there's a religious factor or some sort of cultural factor where it's like these are adults, like more adult than me adults. These are for real adults, and they're still like afraid, even though their parents have passed on or whatever. It's like they're still afraid, or it's like embedded in their concept of what they can and cannot do, that they can't get a tattoo. Some people have like never, if I meet people who have never smoked pot, I'm like, what? They don't have a tattoo, they've never smoked pot. It's like, what? So yeah, somebody could just be coming into their own and saying, you know what? They're kind of a late bloomer. I'm getting a late bloomer here with this Knight of Pentacles. So again, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. So it is that feminine energy coming forward. Slow, steady, long-lasting, very deep and loyal and meaningful and important. I mean, Charlotte in Sex and the City, she ended up getting with a lawyer, but she wasn't like getting with him for the money or anything like that. Like, she had quite a bit from her divorce. Yes, with the Five of Pentacles, somebody could have been with kind of a gold digger. I'm not saying Charlotte is a gold digger because she's always wanting love. But she was just looking in the wrong places, and then guess what? Love came to her. And he's nothing like what she thought she wanted, but he's so perfect. They're my favorite relationship in that shitty show. We do have some scorpionic energy there, a little bit with the tower trying to poke out. There it is, the Nine of Cups. So I was getting Nine of Cups energy with that Nine of Pentacles because it felt like wish fulfillment. And then we have the Three of Wands twice, the Fool, and the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, this love is so much more. There's so much more fortune and so much more abundance to be had with this connection. And I feel like it is also financial. Like, it's not just the proverbial I'm rich in love and happiness and joy and emotions and deep conversations and love making. That left ear's ringing there. Because I think that is important, possibly. Maybe you were in like a loveless marriage or a loveless connection. Maybe you went a long time without any sort of that good. It was bad. Yeah, with this, I don't know why I said Abu, but Aladdin, she liked the street rat. She liked Aladdin, the one who, but that's the other thing there. Abu is like the true spiritual, animals are like our true spiritual nature. And Aladdin was like the ego version of himself. And, he got burdened with like things being unfair and riff-raff, street rat. And, he thought that was his way to win her over, was, oh, if I do all this, I can't influence her free will, but I can do all this. And then she'll have no choice but to fall in love with me because I'll be Prince Ali Ababwa. Prince Abubu. Maybe somebody's nickname is Boo Boo, Abubu, but that's kind of like a mistake. There's a Boo Boo. Somebody made a Boo Boo, but it's, Aladdin was not going to give his bread to those kids. Abu was like, motherfucker, you better give them that bread. Like he looked at them like, he looked at Aladdin like, in your nature. So yeah, somebody could have kind of strayed from their truth, and there could be some sort of pet or animal involved. But it's like, when people say like your animal nature, they think, oh, that's the really barbaric, and because nature is so treacherous and stuff. I hear that a lot when like vegan debates or whatever, when people, non-vegans, are like, well, nature is crazy. Yeah, but nature is also really beautiful. People don't look at that. People don't look at human nature as being so compassionate. And I've seen people, you know, like you see a lot of the people like pretending to be homeless, and people are walking by them, and it's like, yeah, yes, there is that. There is a very ruthless nature in animals, in the animal kingdom, all right? Human and non-human animals. But then there are animals who take in species that are not theirs. And speaking of this beautiful human, or the animal nature, we got Nellie back here being a real... Nellie, are you being a butt? Yes. Rabbits are important, the color blue. See, there's Aladdin, and here he is with all these cups. And see, he's kind of like, look at, and there's 4 again. 4 Aurora. Briar Rose. There he is. Look at how he looks kind of like, oh, yeah, I fucked up. I made a boo-boo. I got it wrong. This masculine got it wrong because they thought it was something else that the feminine wanted. And all the feminine wanted was cups. And a little carpet ride. Whee! 15, which is 6 again. So we had 6 on the Aladdin card there. And then we got 15 on the Aladdin card. More Queen of Pentacles energy over here. With the mother. And in this one, it's like the mother, the bear. She's a mother bear, which is the Virgo Native American zodiac. You know, she really wanted her daughter to, like, I don't quite remember the movie. I just remember the tapestry and it being like the honor and the honor of the family and everything. And it's like, maybe there was a misinterpretation of what that meant when you were younger. You thought you were just like a rebel. With the 9, you inverted the 6. You reversed the 6. You had the idea of love backwards. See, this is like family love, and then there's the maternal wound healing in that movie. Something with the pastries there. Those are cherries. I don't know what they are. I don't know if that's like a Scottish dish or something like that. But they're donuts, pastries, something. But the cherry is like the cherry on top. And that's like the complete. Somebody just went through somebody just completed something, an idea, a concept, a cycle. It's like they just put the cherry on top and cherry on your Sunday. So maybe something with Sunday, that was yesterday, and that was the full moon. The 1st and the 15th. Something between the 1st and the 15th of February. Which would include Valentine's Day. So maybe this is going to come together by Valentine's Day or on Valentine's Day. And by the 15th of February, you're going to know what's what with this connection. Because with the Temperance here and these pages, Pentacles and Knights of Pentacles, it's like they're taking forever. But it's taking forever because you're getting 15 cups of love. 15 cups. You know, somebody might do one of those like assortments, floral arrangements. What is that one with the food in it? Edible arrangements. Somebody might be doing one of those for like maybe somebody doesn't want to do flowers or something like everybody else does, so they're doing something, they're putting a little spin on something traditional. And that's what this love is. This love puts a spin on traditional because fundamentally it feels very traditional. It feels like you know your roles in the relationship, you know what you do, you understand how masculine and feminine energy work. And it could be a lot closer to what you thought you didn't want or what you rebelled against growing up. you know, you might have been like, well, I don't want to do that because that's what my mom did, or that's what my dad wanted, or told me I should want, or that's what everyone in my family did. They got married and had kids and they're unhappy. And it's like, just because they fucked up a perfectly good thing doesn't mean that you're going to fuck up a perfectly good thing. As a matter of fact, this is going to be the thing to heal all things. With a ring-a-ding-ding. Yeah, the star. I'm seeing a diamond. Oh. With a boo there. Diamond in the rough. So yeah, maybe you're gonna like wear red at your wedding, or instead of white. Like you're gonna do your own version of a thing that I feel is quite traditional. But it's your own. Because we have the Aquarius here, the star. You're the star of your own show. You're the writer of your own destiny. You can do whatever you want to do. Because you're not hurting anybody. Obviously, you're with the star, you're healing. This is healing energy, so you're not hurting anybody to do things differently. And if there was any sort of setback, maybe you had a conversation with any of these people that were holding you back, and maybe that conversation led to healing of that connection. Maybe these people or this person is passed on, if it's a parent or something that was influencing you from beyond the grave, or beyond the I'm getting canopic jars, so Egyptian stuff. I just watched The Mummy with Tom Cruise, who is a Cancer, I believe. But the canopic jars, somebody in, oh shit, where did it go? Yeah, Egyptian culture, the color turquoise, teals, and golds. Those like very rich colors. Painting here. There's a lot of cups. As I say that, there's another cup. Okay, so we got these 3 cards that just came out back to back to back with cups. So we've got Beauty and the Beast. All right, that's a prince, or in tarot, that would maybe be a younger masculine. Emotionally younger for sure. An intellectual, smarty pants feminine here. Very clever feminine, dark featured. And see, it's like she's Mrs. Potts and Chip. It feels like there's some sort of grandmother influence here. Yeah, and then we've got Doc. So somebody's a doctor, was a doctor, or their parents were doctors, right? It's like they had like maybe and Charlotte, she gets with a lawyer, so it's like somebody could have been a lawyer, a doctor. You were raised in a very analytical home, and you want to be an artist, because we get these little cups here with paint in them, right? She's got this paint here. And in this one, we have the prince. I mean, they're Disney movies, so there's usually always a prince and a princess. But the prince comes to this feminine in the tower. So that's scorpionic energy, light-haired feminine, possibly light-eyed, light-featured. And we've got the animals here on the masculine side. It's like these masculines are coming in with the loyalty of a pet. Maybe they just want to like roll on their back and let you rub their belly. And then the number 8 with Snow White, short-haired, fair-skinned, dark-featured feminine. So there could be some sort of like intense. I don't know why I said severe. Maybe there's something quite that intensity is a bit severe. Or maybe that feminine's quite dramatic, because I'm using that. And it looks like blood droplets in her sleeves here, and they're sparkly. So it's like somebody's blood is being renewed. That's a very weird message. But it is like your bloodline. It's like you're making it anew. Somebody very specifically could have gotten like, been given blood or donated blood, something about a transfusion, but this is like transmutation. It's a transfusion of the soul. Hear these birds out here? They're being crazy. And then that 3 carpets. with Jasmine and the genie. And see, it's always like the mentor. So you might be getting some sort of message. This person might be relaying a message, or you might be getting some sort of information, or the approach might be made through a third party, but it's not like a third party interference. It's like somebody that they trust, right? The genie, Abu, it's like someone that's loyal to the masculine may actually be the one who's sort of facilitating this. And the color blue is very important here. Green and blue, which is the heart and the throat. Yeah, like you might do a different colored ring or some kind of jewelry or something. Like maybe you're going to do, and I don't know why I'm in Sex and the City. I haven't watched that in a while, but I've seen it so many times. I kind of know it word for word. But this canary, something about a canary, a singing canary, a message in a bottle, a message coming to you from, well, with Valentine's Day, yeah, maybe somebody's going to get a card, like, will you be my Valentine? Check yes or no. Yeah, it might be some kind of, like, very sweet, innocent, like, childlike approach, because the grandiose, arrogant approach of the Emperor is not going to work. You're going to have to approach this love like a fool. You always have to approach God, the divine, anything divine, as a child. But you know, with Aiden, when she's fucking around on Aiden, but she wears the engagement ring around her neck, under a bunch of other necklaces and stuff. Like, she wears it off her neck because she still wants to be free. She doesn't want to be with him because she's a whore. But there's something about, like, you might get another piece of jewelry, and that will be kind of like your token. Maybe you don't want an engagement ring, or maybe you don't want, you know, chocolates and flowers for Valentine's Day. You know, whatever it is, there's something like very specific about the way that you're going to do it, and that's how this person is going to approach you. So that could be the friendship thing there, like that. Their friends could be kind of getting this information, how to approach this feminine, how to come in a way that they know, because the Emperor is not going to pursue something they're unsure about. They're just not going to. I don't want to say their ego is fragile, but because they are the ruler of the ego, they make moves that influence their ego very cautiously. And it's not cautious necessarily because they're afraid. Again, they don't have a fragile ego. It's like, I think because this masculine is the star, more Aquarius energy, because this masculine is healed with that star energy, because they understand how shadow work works, how they know how it all works, and they know how this union is supposed to come together, the Hierophant. They're very tapped in. This is a very spiritual masculine. Which of course he is. He's the Emperor. The Emperor is the magician there, the Hierophant. The Emperor and the Empress are the culmination of all of the major arcana, because they've done that. That's what it takes to shadow work, is to go through all the major arcana lessons. So if you didn't know, now you know. It's a lot of fun, guys. Get out there and work those shadows. It's a fucking blast. It's all fun and games. No, it's not. It's very intense work. But, yeah, and I think you and this person are kind of intense. People might think that you're severe in your approach to doing things, but you are doing what works. You know what works for you. So those people and their opinions don't matter. Like, it's not that you have to be mad at them, or you have to, you know, give them a middle finger for them to not matter. It doesn't matter to you, because you know what you're doing. And I think that this masculine knows damn well what they're doing and what it's going to take to approach this type of feminine. Maybe they didn't at first. Maybe they approached in a way that was not so efficient or successful. But they are now. they got it. They got it together, and they're approaching. And if you're like, well, I haven't heard anything from them, I don't see them, they haven't presented themselves to me, they are about to. They're about to, but they didn't want to even approach because they got a read on the situation. This is someone who gets a read. They read the room very well. They read energy very well. They feel it. See another confirmation here. Third eye chakra. Didn't I just say that? The number 3. When you feel that you have made contact with the intensity of light moving into your crown chakra, move your right hand to about an inch in front of your third eye chakra between your eyebrows. Visualize the white fire disc in your right hand spinning over your third eye. Rotate your right hand clockwise over your third eye chakra. See this 96-petaled chakra, an intense emerald green. That's May, the month of May. And feel the energy of the white light activating your third eye. White light, white heat. And I just got very hot all of a sudden. Could be perimenopause. You can do this for shorter or longer periods of time, depending on how long you want your meditation to be. If you feel any pain in your third eye, move to the next step so as not to overstimulate the chakra. So, hopefully there is something in here for you. I know I've skipped around a lot, and I am kind of getting back into the swing of things and trying to re-tap into the collective energy. So, we can kind of see where we are now. Well, here's a big bus coming around. So maybe somebody's getting a bus ticket to you, or they have to drive to you, or, maybe you're attracted to this space because of the van life references. So yeah, somebody could live in like a schoolie, or, travel about in some sort of like VW, or, a large van that looks like a bus. Or they also, they call it a VW bus, which looks like a van, but they call it a bus. So there could be something like that about shuttling to you. Somebody could be shuttling. You could live in an area where there is like public transportation. Yeah, somebody's like ready to eliminate what needs to be eliminated to make room to come in, and it feels all at once. It feels like once they're out of the blue, coming out of the blue. So it could be a very blue, bright day, not a cloud in the sky. When you come into connection with this person, there could be a lot of blue lights around. They could be wearing blue. Blue is also the throat chakra. It's also involved in the third eye chakra, right? Because indigo is blue and purple. What else? I'm hungry, and that's all there is. Forrest Gump, and that's all I have to say about that. So again, hopefully there was something in here for you, and until next time, I wish you well.